Sure. Give me 1 second to share it. Make sure I'm sharing the right one.
Sorry, did I get you in the middle of eating?
You did, but that's fine. I can finish it in a minute.
Well, while we're queuing that up, let me just say thank you to Rusty. I got one of those
Hell yeah.
memberships.
Right
so
on.
Thank you, Rusty.
You can post your emoji face now because that's
I
what
thought I
members
just
get
didn't know
those
how to use the
emojis.
emoji keyboard. That's cool as heck.
Yeah, enjoy it. Right on. All right. So Travis, take it away for us tonight. What are some sections of this docket you'd like us to cover?
There's a few. I know we've already touched about security preservation, so I guess we can start there. And I'm gonna be sorry if my PDFs are running a little slow. I even tried to restart my Chrome, but for whatever reason, I'm getting some lag between when I search and when it goes there.
Yeah.
It used to be much faster, but it does take a little bit of extra time now. I don't know why. Here we go. So, call with Gibbons team regarding monetizing NOLS through plan of reorganization and securities offering.
That's a huge fucking deal. A security.
big.
Why? Okay. Why else would there be any form of securities offering language inside of this docket if we were getting absolutely nothing?
Especially in August. I think
Travis just came with the big one right off the hop, eh?
oh no,
Wow.
I'm going big. And I gotta swing my big docs. Um uh, but no, it's like, all right, there's a securities offering in here, but I believe this was actually after all the warrants and everything were converted. So I don't think this
Okay.
has anything to do with that.
Mhm.
Jake, please back me up on that. This is August 3rd. I don't know when the
This is
warrant.
absolutely a securities offering that would be either issued as a debt for equity conversion or otherwise given to common stockholders or distributed of a new company. So this is right after Tamar Donikin and Anthony Zangrillo spent a lot of time in July, in the second half of July, preparing all that they did, not the least of which is converting the rest of the warrants and the preferreds, readjusting the TSO to go up to 782 million. Yada yada yada, all that had happened like right along the middle of July there. Then we had the Form 25, and of course after the 10 days of the Form 25, and they had the delisting, they're free to do it, right? So this was a really big, compelling thing. There's a couple other things in the docket, but this was really the big one. The securities offering, it's pretty unambiguous. I'll say that.
It's funny that you mentioned debt for equity offering because on the same day, there was a review comments of B. Thiessen regarding initial possible debt equity restructuring issue.
And it was possible, right, because they still had a lien on Bye Bye Baby, and so I think that was the thing. Is the reason the 14% bondholders until September 12th, and so all this was just possible. It was a contemplated transaction, but it couldn't actually go through until the lien was lifted. But it was lifted, so then it could go through. But then Life Relationship threw a wrench in it and delayed it. So it's still going to go through. It's always been the plan. It just got delayed because of a few things.
Mm-hmm. I would agree. I think, there's always been a set plan. Let's do it. Let's do it this way. And then there's been some timeline issues and things have hiccuped back and forth a little bit. The next biggest thing, if I can get there.
Yeah, there definitely has been interference along the way, from multiple parties, not the least of which Gibbons, I believe, was one of the alternative outcome parties that was not aligned with the outcome that Sixth Street was planning for alongside the affiliates. And I think they were looking to try to see if they could squeeze in there. And there's a lot in this docket to substantiate the idea that they had been looking for things maybe alternatively to see if they could weasel in and kind of put a wrench in the plan, as you said. Right. But we'll get into that obviously. But for sure, there was a lot of things that slowed us down.
And here's my favorite one. And Jake, you said there's something spicier in here, so we can get to that. But preservation of BBBY ticker for estate. Now,
what would you call this one?
Review Overstock APA, asset purchase agreement regarding preservation of BBBY ticker for estate. Well, we know Overstock is now BYON. They didn't take on the BBBY ticker. They switched to BYON because that's what was outlined in their APA. The lawyer made sure to go in there and ensure that the estate which is now DK Butterfly, keeps BBBY Ticker. Now, for me, I think that's a great ticker for something like, I don't know, Bye Bye Baby. To me, this is Jake might have something. We can get to whatever he has after I cover this one. To me, this is the biggest one. And the reason for that is because we now know that the Mona Lisa got torn up by BBBY Remastered. And I'm glad they did, because they pointed me to the exact language in the docket that said this is being done specifically. Sixth Street is fronting this money specifically to pay down the JP Morgan APL and get them out of here so that we can do what we want. Sixth Street fronted this money so that the transaction can go down exactly how Bed Bath & Beyond and Sixth Street wanted it to. And then we have this just a couple months later. Preservation of BBBY estate. They wanted to sell the IP. They wanted to get rid of all this, and they wanted to hold on to a ticker.
Right.
When you start asking the questions of why would you be wanting to hold on to a ticker in a liquidation, first off, it's not a liquidation. We've known that. We've established that.
Yeah.
But to every shill out there, why would you want a certain ticker for a liquidation unless it's going to be used by the new equity?
Here's my question.
Go ahead.
Okay. In terms of preservation, because this is one thing I asked you when you sent me this, because I wanted to be sure. So it does reference overstock. And I know that you said that overstock is now BYON. So in the case of, let's say, like, do you think that there was a situation in July where they were essentially trying to preserve the Bed Bath ticker to utilize for overstock? I mean, I'm not trying to, discredit anything. I'm just trying to understand if there's a possibility that this was a plan where they wanted to preserve that ticker for overstock. I just want to be sure.
But it says preservation of BBBY ticker for estate.
It does. Yeah. Okay. So
no, it wasn't for overstock. In fact, this was to ensure overstock didn't get that ticker. So overstock may have wanted to rebrand to Bed Bath & Beyond, as we know that they're using the banner, and then they rebranded to Beyond Inc., and they're still using the Bed Bath & Beyond banners, which great. I mean, you bought the IPs, used them, and they used them right away. Within like 14 hours of this being completed, they were using the banner, but they couldn't use the ticker. And so they decided to go from overstock, and they're like, oh, if we're going to be Bed Bath & Beyond, let's just switch our ticker to Beyond. And that would sound most logical. And then we'll change our name to Beyond, and we'll still use the Bed Bath & Beyond banner, but we don't have the ticker because the estate, which is now DK Butterfly, holds the rights to that ticker. But why would you need to hold the rights to a ticker? Unless you have a plan for new equity to come out under, I don't know, Bye Bye, which is B B B, and the last letter of baby is a Y. It's a perfect ticker for Bye Bye Baby. It's perfect. And I know we there's some issues with Bye Bye Baby's IP being sold for a mere $15 million to Dream on Me. That's a private company that I think is going to be merged into this. That all the IP ends up back at Bye Bye Baby, because you have a $10 billion claim and they sold it for $15 million. I bet you could buy Dream on Me for probably $50 million. I don't think it's worth that much.
Right.
To me, this is all kind of falling into place. This is all intentional, and this right here is the most beautiful part that I've seen so far.
I think that the preservation of the Bed Bath ticker, there has to be something there, especially like when you couple in this, preservation of the Bed Bath ticker for the estate. And then on top of that, what you were showing as well, there was the one thing that you had showed prior to this. I'm getting a brain fart. It pertained to
securities offering.
Securities offering. So, I mean, to me, I think it is kind of clear that coupled with the securities offering that they were looking to do on top of the preservation of the ticker itself, the only question is when at this point, in my opinion. So it's highly bullish. Jake, what do you think about it?
I have a bit of a counterpoint, and I appreciate everyone else's input, but I view everything that Gibbons did as a counter to a positive outcome for shareholders. And so I don't think this is related to a potential good outcome here. I think that if anything, considering the timing that this is exactly in the window when BBBY Acquisition Co., the SPAC, gets formed, and then Tamar Donikin has the transfer agent correspondence, then she does the TSO adjustment, then she converts the preferreds. I see this as part of an attempt to kibosh the idea, and I think it is really reassuring that they are doing this research, because I do agree that BBBY will be used as the ticker for the baby subsidiary stock offering. But I believe that their research here is to try and eliminate that possibility. And so they are looking to see, hey, you can't keep this stock ticker. It needs to go to Overstock. You
I
can't use
concur.
this.
I concur. I think this was, this is the antithesis individuals, or the antithesis law firm, working for the UCC, that had, not necessarily nefarious intentions, but they were not trying to allow the plan to go through according to plan. And so the fact that they're reviewing it specifically says that they had, intentions and reasons to do this. Sorry, I had to say something. But I think they did this with intentions of ensuring that things could work out in their favor at that time. So no, I agree with Jake on this, and the fact that another law firm with the, I don't want to say antithesis side, but the opponents of what was originally planned, the fact that they're reviewing this is really bullish to me.
Yeah, I support that idea. I think there's a lot more to substantiate what I'm suggesting here throughout other parts of the docket that we'll obviously get into. But I do just want to say that Gibbons was never the representative for the unsecured creditor committee, right? They were a special counsel. They were brought on by some of the bondholders. And I think and I'm not saying they were like good guys, bad guys. It's just an easy way to draw a comparison to separate two different ideas. But they not necessarily had nefarious intentions, but they were pursuing their own best intentions, which I believe was not consistent with what Sixth Street was pursuing. But thankfully, I believe Sixth Street, in eliminating JP Morgan, had enough control over how this bankruptcy was going to play out that they have to admit eventually that they couldn't monetize the NOL for their own purposes. And they admit as much, as we'll get into it in the other little pieces of the docket that I don't want to spoil.
Yeah. Anything else that you want to cover in terms of that docket, Travis?
Other than a lot of information on NOLS, but there's so many that we don't have really a lot of time to, because it probably pops up 100 times. Net operating
Really? I
losses.
want to take a look at that.
Oh gosh. Okay.
Well, just pull it. Okay,
reshare.
so if you want a quick, can we just have a quick little rundown? Can you go to my post about this on X, and then I just highlighted a couple of. Wow, that was quick.
Perfect.
Nice, Michael. Can we go to?
We got all our shit ready tonight.
Hey, I appreciated it when I saw it. I was like doing DD, and I was like, wait, why do I keep doing this? I just wait 5 minutes, and Jake's already done.
Oh, you're so sweet.
Real quick,
blush. Can you go to the other one? Can we do the other one first?
Yeah.
And then, because the first one has 1, and then the other one has the 4. No, don't give it away.
Let's pull that up real quick. I'm just going to read these back just real quick. Abe with the 5. So OHM.L shows $15. The Teddy tinfoil suggests 15, and now GME closes after hours at 15. It's actually higher than that now, Abe. Cash tomorrow and equity soon. We need to take a look at that tonight as well. The OHM thing is very promising. It says that Bed Bath & Beyond has made a 16,000% move up from where it's at, man, to $15. This is some good fucking tinfoil tonight to look at. It's not even tinfoil because it's on OHM, but we will take a look at that tonight. Abe Dragon with the 2, 1,800 viewers, only 340 likes. Pump them. All right, right on. Appreciate your love. Sam I Am with the 2. Could that mean the options can come back? I don't know. There's some people who said that maybe the options get paid out. Rengoku says when, and then we also add that's it for tonight. All right, go ahead, Jake. Take it away for us, man. Let's hear your beautiful DD tonight, man.
Okay, well, this isn't even the DD. This is, I just want to go over some things with the dockets, and then if you want to hear me ramble for a little longer, we can get into that after this. But I do just want to say that. So if you can just go to the picture, Michael, and then I can just do a summary without looking at that. I don't need to read that. So The one thing that I noticed here is that on June 22nd, which interestingly is the first of the 3 days where 6th Street really hammered down their credit bid, that being the 22nd, the 23rd, and the 24th. And June 24th being a Saturday, no less, one of the attorneys was working on it for hours. We see that the potential preservation of entities for purposes of the NOL. So that right there is the admission of why they could not monetize the NOL. We've all said it for a while, and I believe I've been on here saying it since the Gibbons docket came out.
God, I'm so excited.
They couldn't monetize the NOL because it was attached to the entities that are going to emerge from Chapter 11, and they confirm it right there. So the nice thing that I like here too is that they say entities plural, which we've also speculated on PP Show, right? That there may be more than one entity. And so the preservation of entities for the NOL means that there would be companies or entities emerging, and the NOL will go with them. Either it's split apart or whatever. But the timing is equally compelling here because, like I said, the 6th Street APA, what I believe is the credit bid, the majority of that work was happening on June 22nd, 23rd, and 24th.
Mm-hmm.
So that's all I wanted to share from that one. And then, Michael, if you don't mind going to the post above it, it has, I believe, 3 or 4 more pictures that we can go over.
And Jake, real quick, while he's pulling that up, PP,
yes,
this is a 50-page docket.
Mm-hmm.
NOL shows up 110 times.
I'm so goddamn fucking jacked, man. You know, I mean,
Now,
listen to me. Their shareholders have to be a part of this shit if they're trying to pursue these NOLs. Yes or no?
Now, net operating loss appears 5 times, so for a total of 115.
Wow.
So 115 times in a 50-page docket, NOLs and their preservation are being researched.
Also, real quick, I'm sorry to cut in, but we're getting reports here that GME is soaring to 1650 now.
Yeah, 1652. It's going straight up.
What are they
after hours, man?
Isn't the market?
I am after hours,
hour?
but we're after hours is
on Robinhood has an after hours, like 24 hours for, and they just apparently inducted it in there.
The motherfucker's still running, man.
Wow.
Literally the day I sell, freaking A.
No, take
Michael,
your gains and go.
No, I know. And it didn't hurt that bad because, like, I know my Bed Bath's gonna do amazing. It's just like, what are the odds, right?
Michael,
like,
you have to pay your rent late, like all the other degenerates out there, man. All right, go ahead.
I thought about it,
Jake.
So yeah, so Travis makes a great point about the NOL. You have to remember that Gibbons' only intention was to try to take the NOL away from Bed Bath and monetize it for themselves, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or for Class 6 or whatever, bring it towards more like creditor recovery, right? So it's no surprise that it's in there that many times. I think the most bullish thing about what Travis is saying is they spent so much time trying to extract the NOL, and then in their final fee application, they have to admit that they failed. I think that is the most incredible thing of it all. Again, that being because it's with the entities, right? So
yeah, exactly. There has to be something because, like, with DK Butterfly, there's like 38 entities, isn't there? Or there's like 30, or they are individual entities, are they not?
Well, we'll see. Like, as they
so
are,
we don't really know.
Right
37, 38, yeah, somewhere like that.
So we don't know if they could potentially even be like there's no chance that those can't be like locations, can they?
Well, no, it could be. I mean, DK1 could be, 40 locations. DK2 could be, 20. And they're doing this for a reason and with intent. I mean, we don't. Somebody broke down what locations are at which entity. I forget who it was, and it's been a month and a half. But it has been reconciled. I need to figure out who did that and pull it up, or if chat knows, somebody drop me a hint. That'd be great.
Carry on, Jake.
Sure. Yeah. So, like, I'll just go. Thank you, Michael. So the other thing I wanted to point out here is Rule 1145. We've talked about it a bunch. It's very exciting to see it in here because they are, again, I believe what their intention here is to, now I'm just going to, obviously I'm speculating, but if I can tell this in the version of a story, I think Gibbons comes in as special counsel, gets briefed in under professional NDA, realizes the plan that Sixth Street is going to do a credit bid, convert debt to equity, whatever, and they're going to come out, emerge with a new share issuance, right? Deloitte substantiates this in their application, saying that they're looking at subsidiaries doing a stock issuance. Gibbons is trying to stop this because their intention, again, is to monetize the NOL, which they cannot do if there will be an emergence with a stock issuance, right? So the fact that they are reviewing the application of Section 1145, they are trying to see if it actually was given appropriately, because now the 1145 rule was not given automatically, right? They had to apply at the onset of Chapter 11, and the judge allowed them to pursue Rule 1145.
Right.
1145 being a reporting exemption for doing a new share issuance or a share reissuance of a new share of a surviving new entity without having to make reporting obligations to the SEC until like you're done, right? Because on paper and in the attorney's offices, this may have been finalized as soon as June or July, and then they're waiting for things like Michael and Travis mentioned, like the lien on baby or the effective date or whatever, like the DD that I'll get into, and then they just submit these things publicly to like be certificates of incorporation. So the fact that they are looking at this is incredibly reassuring and very bullish to me, to the fact that in fact there will be a share distribution for legacy shareholders, because that would be the entire purpose of Section 1145. So that's very reassuring, especially in August 8th, because that's after, again, Tamar Donikin, the SPAC expert, does all the work that she's doing regarding the conversion of the preferreds, which then means that she's looking at the ownership structure to make sure that they satisfy the 382L5 NOL. So all of those warrants and prefers have been converted into common. That ownership has been given, and then they're off to the races, right? And then so now the other thing here. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Wow,
I was just going to say
issues?
that's correct. Section 1145 is an exemption from security laws for companies in bankruptcy. So how they can do issuance of new shares. That's exactly what it is. And so that little tidbit, I forgot about it. I did glance over it earlier. I looked up, Section 1145 to confirm, and I completely 100% agree with Jake here. Bullish. I mean, they're
I'm gonna
looking
fucking explode. I'm so goddamn bullish, man.
This is a big one, man.
Yeah, man. This has to be coming to a conclusion soon, man. I mean,
here it
look
is.
at all this shit coming out, like security, fucking the security issues they're dealing with, like new offerings, things like that. I mean, there has to be new equity at this point.
Well, and the most beautiful thing about this, sorry, Jake, just real quick, is the offers sell under a plan of a security of the debtor. Remember, this is about, bankruptcy and how they are currently exempt from SEC filings.
Read that whole thing. Read that whole thing, Travis, that you just highlighted.
You want one or just one?
No. Just what's after one. Just read that.
Okay.
After one is A.
Here we go.
Let's hear it.
No. Before A. From one to the plan.
From one to here. Okay. The offer or sell under a plan of a security of the debtor, of an affiliate participating in the plan with the debtor, or of a successor to the debtor under the plan, in exchange for claims against, an interest in, or a claim for an administrative expense in the case concerning the debtor or such affiliate, or principally in such exchange and partly for cash or property. Go a little further. Actually, no, I can't do that without reading A. But this is strictly for a company in bankruptcy that's exempt from security laws and exempt from SEC reporting, which happens to be the case for Bed Bath & Beyond. For DK Butterfly right now. So the fact that they're looking into this is they're looking into this. And it's beautiful. And I looked into this. I totally blanked on it because I was so hyped on the securities offering and the debt to equity and the other one I pulled up that I'm blanking on right now. But I was so jacked on that I forgot this in there as well. So I 100% agree with Jake. I've looked into this. This is, like I said, this is a bullish.
This got to be the real deal, man.
Yeah,
it gets better.
All right.
No, but somebody's already in shambles, and it's going to get Better.
So we'll go ahead and take it back to Jake here, just real quick. Let me just read these off the screen here. We got Afterburner with the 2. Appreciate the love, man. Keenan with the 7. I'm either going to be rich or I'm going to be straight, or I'm going straight to the sane asylum after December 14th. However, I think I'm going to be rich. All right, right on, Keenan. Hopefully, when we check in, it's not an insane asylum on the 14th. E. Williams with the 2. CN was the one who did DD on the 38 DK, but 33. I remember that. Big Poppy with the 2. There's a new sheriff in town. Stubbs with the 2. I bet Icon is closing his shorts. RC did his side. It's a good speculation, Stubbs. Keenan with the 279. I'm going to butt chug a beer at this event. Bullshit. You better fucking actually do it. Keenan said that. I better see it. Jacqueline with the 10. $20 is next to the 15 in the that's right, we're done in Teddy Book page. Maybe RC is buying back GME. They have 100 million set aside for that until stock hits $20. Perhaps GME is part of the deal. It's very possible. They do have 100 million for share buybacks. And look, if that's what they're doing, then so be it. But me personally, I think that this kind of movement, like this movement's very. Some people have pointed out this movement has happened before. I know into earnings we've seen some movement like this. Personally, I think that market always finds out about everything first, right? So if there was a merger and acquisition that took place over the last 6 months, that would make sense why the stock fell down as low as it did. And now we're starting to see it recover. So it could be very possible. That's what I personally am believing what is happening. I could also be wrong, but I don't know. It's looking bullish, man, for GME. Take over, Jake. Let's hear it.
It's looking pretty good, man. I agree.
It is. Yeah,
So then going along with the idea that I had presented that Gibbons is really looking for a way to kibosh the plan, right? So 6th Street has plan A. Gibbons is trying to come in and just take the NOL and skip all that. So now I think this is really the substance to justify that thinking.
Right.
So they are having conferences and talking back and forth about securities law issues concerning the proposed reorganization transactions.
Mm-hmm.
Not liquidation, reorganization, right? And why would you have security laws? And why would you be looking at seeing if there's ways that you can find loopholes in security laws in a reorganization transaction unless it involves a share issuance?
Yeah.
Right?
Something here is coming.
That's pretty cool. I think that's very reassuring, but I just want to give everybody the perspective that I think these guys are looking for loopholes to say, hey, 6th Street, you can't do it. You can't do that. So therefore you got to abandon that plan and give us the NOL. And then again, they're spending lots of time that day having securities law issues concerning the proposed reorganization transactions. Again, I think they're thinking of like, hey, let's see if we can stop this, because obviously by the 3rd of August, I think that the majority of tomorrow's work happened in the second half of July. They know everything, what's going on and how it's going to go on and what's going to happen. And they're just trying to see if they can find a way to unwind it.